All they need to do now to get a perfect season is win the championship. Central Coast Mariners have a long drive away home where they can reflect on this game and on the season. They are sitting bottom, and SD Raiders are the club championship winners. I don't know who he is. Oh, it's done. Then I was talking for nothing. Yeah, I don't know who's on it.
got... Yeah, I got back-to-back match reports, like 29 and 30. I think I'm at Sydney United. Okay. So that must be my best birthday. So I got Sydney United after around 29. That'll be a great game. And then I finish off at, I think Sydney United plays Spirit to finish their season. I swooped on FC versus Olympic. St. George?
Sydney. Sydney FC versus Olympic.
It's good, at least there's a bit of jeopardy at the bottom. Like, yeah. Good old Super Saturday. Sydney in the big team, right?
Oh, yeah. Are they playing?
NSW.
Oh, yeah.
So,
you've lost their rag.
I think so. Yeah, I think it was maybe like I would say.
I know it lost his rag last time. Yeah. They do it, was I remember talking to him, because there was like a red card thing for it with the guys.
Yeah. So much for 2 minutes. They'll play today, and Sydney play today. Sydney play at 5:40. Okay. Yeah. Hello and welcome to round 27 action of the NPL Men's New South Wales competition here at Ernie Smith Reserve in Sydney's southwest. It is SD Raiders taking on the Western Sydney Wanderers. So big turnout all around the ground here at Ernie Smith as the women's SD Raiders crowned the premiers moments ago with a massive 2-0 win over the Central Coast Mariners, meaning that both sides will be in the top flight of both men's and women's competition next season. So great result for the club. Big day, obviously. SD men's side confirmed their future quite a few weeks ago, and they turned the script on the competition really, because they now sit within reaching distance of a top 6. And if you said someone 10, maybe even 8 weeks ago that that's a possibility for this side, they might have called you crazy. But we sit here with this SD side, 4 wins on the trot, going against a slightly weakened Western Sydney Wanderers side, and probably diminished a bit by the fact that there is an Australia Cup game going on in their senior side not too far from here at the Marconi Stadium between Wanderers and Victory, which a few of their best have been caught up for. So obviously a bit of a delay starting here as the women celebrated their promotion and their premiership. But we will get into the starting lineups then for both sides as they switch over after the toss. So for the SD Raiders, in goals always Michael Figuera. 4, Coop Hannigan. 5, Jet McHugh-Shaw. Number 6 is Lachlan Everett. Number 7, Michal Marcic, the captain. 8, James Leder. Number 10, Luka Knezvich. 12, Lachlan McGrath. 14, Noah Kinesi. Number 15 is Matthew Lee. And 37, Robert Iramugo, rounds out the starting lineup. On the bench, Yakov Malbasa, Martin Fernandez. 18, Charlie Ragg. 19, Riley Cox-Barlow. 21, Sebastian Malfara. 31, Oliver Prizdak. And 47, Ethan Bevan is the matchday squad for the hosts, SD Raiders. So we're underway here. Final spot could be up for grabs, and both sides fighting for 3 crucial points if they want to be playing finals football. There's early pressure from the Wanderers, and it's dealt with relative ease from the man between the sticks there, Michael Figuera for the SD Raiders. But for the Western Sydney Wanderers, their lineup, starting with at the back 4, Ricky Franson. 5, Jesse Cameron. Number 6, captain Oscar Morrison. 7, Abdul Rahman. 10, Johnny Pavlovich. 12, Samuel Goldberg. 19, Ewan Gazowski. 28, Giorgio Hazarati. 29, Joshua Satenic. 30, Anderson Back. And 31, Emil Katrib is the starting lineup. And the bench is 8, Corey De Cruz. 16, Tristan Arate. 23, Oscar Moore. 25, Marco Randavansevic. 26, Bradley Marzell. 40, Aston Crawford. And 75, Marcus Savage is the matchday squad for the Western Sydney Wanderers, missing their top goal scorer, the league's top goal scorer, that is Awan Luwal, who is in the matchday squad for the Australia Cup match against the Melbourne Victory, scheduled to kick off at 7:30. So both these sides in pretty similar situations, must be said. Yeah, obviously, SC Raiders with a big cup tie against the Macarthur Bulls in a couple days' time at Fairfield Showground, whereas Wanderers playing tonight. So both teams fighting for finals and progression in the Australia Cup. As we see now, the pause in play there was Robert Iramugo, who seems to have tweaked his right knee/calf area. Looks okay though and ready to come back on, but he is forced to sit on the sidelines for a little bit. A long boot from Figuera gets us back underway. And it's a strong header away from Oscar Morrison. Morrison and Franson, 2 of the veterans in this young Western Sydney Wanderers side. The backline combination today, and Jesse Cameron as well, one of those who's been around this system for a while. So Figuera had led us short, but opts to go long, and they had a lot of success doing that last time out here. That magical 2-1 win against the Marconi Stallions. Were able to dominate the attacking chances and limit one of the league's best attacking sides. Knezovic goes direct and forces a fingertip save right at the end, and it's going to be an early corner for the Western Sydney Wanderers now. Did well to get his fingertips to it. And Western Sydney taking no chances here. All 10 outfield players back. And the Raiders answer back with just about everyone forward as well. Goes direct at the front stick, and it just flung past the head of Kianesi. Whipped back in by Knezovic. And it was a good header on in the end there by Marcic, but a cluster of Western Sydney defenders able to clear. Attacking momentum still with the hosts, though. McGrath. Try to pick out Kianesi, and just a little bit long in the end there, and Jesse Cameron will pick that one up for a throw for the Wanderers deep in their own half. They started off the first couple of minutes looking more promising, and SD just balanced it out a little bit. They love holding the ball, and they do have a lot of attacking chances throughout most of their games. Averaging around 12 shots per game, ranks them in the top 6 in the league in that category. And another throw for the Wanderers there. Leda, good header away and into the path of Marcic. Knezovic didn't even need to look up to try and find Iramugo, but unfortunately for him, it was Emil Katrib who got there first. And Ala Abdul Rahman showing what he can do in attack. He's stopped by James Leder, though. He's had a good start to this game, the skipper. Knezovic now with a bit of space to go forward. Iramugo. Is he going to cut in? Tries to skin Katrib on the right side there and doesn't get the better of him. It was Oscar Morrison, actually, the centre-back, drifting out wide, doing a quick positional switch with Katrib on the right. Ball bouncing around a bit there, not finding a home yet, and good chance here if the ball can get in. Goes across the middle, and it's a good clearance there by Hannigan. This ball forward. Franson's got a lot of work to do. Iramugo gets first. And he's happy to see that one go out for another corner. And the Raiders with some promising attacking chances to start this match. And putting the Wanderers' defence under a lot of pressure early. Knezovic on the corner duty. It's a good ball in. Marcic had an open header at the front stick and just hit it wide, and two players hit the deck there, and it was a foul in the lead-up. So if Marcic did get it on target, it wouldn't have mattered in the end, but still a solid effort and a really good ball from Luka Knezovic. So Marcic stopped that ball going long, but copped a knock for his troubles. Almost in the back of the head. The referee stopped temporarily to see if he's okay, but he's good. Leder another good header away. Ball doesn't want to stay on the ground. It's pinball between the heads. Wanderers throw. Good ball through. Pavlovic chasing onto it, and Figueira probably didn't get his best effort to that. Able to regather, though, the Raiders' defence. This is one thing the Raiders are very good at, pressing off the ball. Forced Marconi into a handful of mistakes in their last home game here a couple of weeks ago. Strong challenge there by McGrath. Stopping the run of Cameron. There he is again. The number 5 is hitting the deck. Pavlovic gets a foul for his troubles. Taken quickly. Offloading to Anderson back. Out wide, Katrib. Time and space now. Goes central and gets another foul. It's Knezovic that brought him down that time. Cameron. Franson across to Morrison. Morrison tries to pick out Abdul Rahman. It's McCure Shaw getting there first. Now under a bit of pressure themselves, the Raiders on the counter press. Lee turns, coughs possession up to back. Good ball forward from Satanic. And it was the Wanderers players getting caught up between each other that cost them that attacking chance there. Now Hannigan. Has Gazowski for company, and Figueira caught into action again here. Nazarati pushing hard to try and win the ball back, and a good chance now. Kianese. Great ball across. Martic across to Hannigan. Blasts it across the face. Back out. Kianese gets a hold of it. First time ball from McCure Shaw. Wasn't bad at all. Just two players stuck at the front stick and no one peeled off. And a promising opportunity goes begging for the Raiders. They'll get the throw though. McGrath, the third defender there. Figueira. Very involved playing out from the back today, more than usual. Gazowski, or was Abdul Rahman's pass goes astray. And picked out again by Leda. He's been very involved to start this game, and he wants to get involved in the attack as well. Made a darting run forward. But Noah Kinesi didn't see that as promising as the centre-back did. Knezovic, great flick on ball, and that is beautiful football here from the Raiders. Iramugo. Try to get it across to Hannigan. Keeps possession though. Knezovic. Good stop by Franson. And a third corner of the game within 11 minutes for the Raiders. And what a play of attacking football that was. Just one touch, no look. Curling it through the Wanderers' defence. And Iramugo, unlucky probably twice there, not being able to get a shot off. Knezovic, good cross last time. Promising one again, and a pretty strong header there by the skipper Oscar Morrison to clear the danger. Back out to Knezovic though, that is a monster cross. McGrath's header goes back to McGrath, but Franson able to shield it out for a goal kick. Long ball trying to pick out Hazarati. He's still on the ground, Hazarati. Looks to be in a bit of pain, and it's going to be stopped because that looked to have been a head clash, and referee prioritising that, stopping play. Looks to be okay though, Giorgio Hazarati. This play will restart with the Raiders. And right back where they were before. Good ball forward, and Franson left it for Goldberg, and Kianese here was lurking. You trust Franson to make the right call there. But gee, didn't that look close. Ball across the box. Almost went out for a corner. Katrib had to work hard to get that back, and Abdul Rahman just had to get it forward. Almost turned into a good through ball. And the Raiders can't punish them. It's going to be a throw for the Wanderers now. So plenty of action happening here in Super Saturday in this competition, and one big result that is just about to wrap up. Sydney Olympic 3, UNSW 1. Meaning that Sydney Olympic, just 3 huge points in the context of their season, could be the difference between automatic relegation and playing a relegation playoff. And one side that knows all too well about the relegation playoff, the SD Raiders. The beneficiaries of that coming up from it. It's a huge result at the bottom of the table. 2 points ahead of St. George FC now. And they will play the Wanderers next week at home. There's offside called there on Johnny Pavlovich. Cooper Hannigan was trying to take that free kick early. Pavlovich in the way, and Hannigan was having absolutely none of that. Probably not strong enough for a yellow card, given it was an off-ball incident. And referee just pleading his case to Cooper Hannigan, agreeing that it probably wasn't the right thing for Pavlovich to stand in front of the ball and delay the play, because it alternatively could have been a yellow card for him. Hannigan pushing him out of the way as both sides plead their case, and I think good call there from the referee to leave cards in the pocket for both sides there. Iramugo, great header forward. Morrison beats Kianese to it. McEwer Shaw will reset now for the Raiders out the back. Katrib, great work to stick a foot out and halt the Raiders' attack. Gives his side a chance to go the other way. That's a decent ball forward if Pavlovich can get a foot onto it. And the duo of McGrath and McEwer Shaw stopping that. Good ball from McEwer Shaw. They've preferred their long balls today, the Raiders, and it's working out really good, but a foul in the lead up there. Kanazovic. Under pressure, Goldberg goes along himself. Hazarati almost used the side of his body to bring that one down. It's unorthodox, but it doesn't matter how he got it down. He got it down and did it well. High intensity opening period of this game. Neither side really given a chance to just knock it around a bit, trying to pick their moments in attack. It's been all guns blazing. Pavlovich, good bit of skill to try and get past Letta. Both men go to ground. It's a fair challenge, says the referee. A good chunk of grass came up from that as well. Cameron. Sitanic. as the ball went out a bit early there for the Wanderers, and SD will get the ball back. McGrath is under pressure there. Did well to fake the first clearance, give himself a bit of space, and now Everett switching play to the right side. Hannigan. Good connection with Lee to pick out Marcic. Back to Hannigan. Hannigan's cross to flex, but it goes to Kianesi, who tried to flick it over. Goldberg there was in good position and seen it all the way, but good bit of creativity from a man who's been in a good vein of form lately. Iramugo sends it forward. Everett. Marcic back to Lee. Two really fit sides, you'd say, and able to throw lots of bodies behind the ball in defence and then try and turn it into a quick attack both ways, which is probably why we haven't seen a real genuine chance either way, despite the fast pace and rapid intensity that both sides have shown to start this game. Everett gets a touch to it and had to be careful there. Marcic sliding in from behind. Gazowski has Cameron on his outside and opts to go back to Satenic. Morrison. Goldberg had to get rid of it. Kianesi's stabbed at it. Let's hustle now between Katrib and Iramugo. Raiders man getting the last touch on it. Throw for the Wanderers. Good ball from Cameron. Picking out Hazarati. Tries to get past McGrath, but throws his body in front of that. Will remain Wanderers' ball with a throw deep into the Raiders' half. It's Ricky Franson forward for this one. Trusting the long throw of Jesse Cameron. Goes right in the middle. Franson gets ahead to it. Abdul Rahman! Floated perfectly for him, but it was straight at Figueira, and he couldn't get too much power on it that close, otherwise it would have blasted over the bar. Did well to control it, just lacked the power and really deciding on a side, otherwise we could have seen a Wanderers opener. Everett. Leto was under pressure, had to go back to Figueira. Switches it, Iramugo. Great first touch to unload Knezovic. Sends it forward to Kianesi, he's offside. Back. It's touch a bit heavy. Give the Raiders a chance here. Kianesi. Offloads it to Marcic. Leaves it for Everett. Just over the bar. Good effort from the Raiders 6. And Goldberg. Just a couple seconds to reset here and give his side a breather. It's under a bit of pressure there. Good header forward from Hannigan. Marcic. Hannigan sticks his feet through the legs there of Gazowski to win it back and wins his side a free kick in the process. Bodies forward at the final defensive frontier for the Raiders. Hannigan's got a good boot on him. Switches it up. Knezovic. Good header forward. Iramugo gets onto it. Back to Knezovic. Gets the ball in. Was taken out in the process. Goldberg with a strong fist out. Knezovic still on the ground. Hannigan gets caught up with Pavlovic there, and Pavlovic earns his side a foul. Going early, Satanic. And McGrath heads it away. Iramugo now. McGrath wants to get involved in the attack. Does have 2 goals this season already, Lachlan McGrath. Second highest scoring defender with Charlie Ragg, the normal wing back with 3 goals already this season on the bench today. So he's being rested for the cup game against the MacArthur Bulls in a couple days' time. Tricky position for the Raiders at the moment. Obviously within a couple points of a top 6 berth, but wanting to seek revenge on the Bulls after they knocked them out of the cup last year in the round of 32, and a quarterfinal clash for the Raiders would be an dream scenario, but it is almost a pick your poison type moment, as so stop in play was for Oscar Morrison, the captain, who looks okay to continue, but will have to be on the sideline for a couple moments before play gets underway here, which gives us a chance to quickly go around the grounds with the other simultaneous kickoff. Manly United 2, Marconi Stallions 0. Another stunning result, really. Marconi Stallions in a late season slide, obviously lost a couple weeks ago here to the Raiders. And with this loss, Apia still to play. They're 5 points behind there, which that result would light up the eyes of Sydney United. And we do have kickoff in the 2 other games. Northwest Sydney Spirit hosting Blacktown City, and the Sutherland Sharks playing host to Sydney FC in a potential finals preview. Much as this game here could be a potential finals preview, as Cooper Hannigan tried to take that throw in quickly, and Jesse Cameron wouldn't say kicked it away, just touched it away, and did apologise in the end there. So a bit of sportsmanship, but in good faith, I'd say, maybe. Anyway, McHugh sure had to stick a foot out to clear it, and it's turned into a good opportunity as the commentator's curse strikes. Cameron. Kinesi wins the ball back. Bit too physical, says the referee. They're not happy about that. You could almost see that happening before it did. Kinesi just had a look in his eyes that he just knew he was going to get the ball there, but just a little bit too physical. Pavlovic locked up with Lee. Who's going to come out with it? Matthew Lee sends it back, and neither of these two sides have had a moment to breathe. First half an hour has flown past here at Ernie Smith Reserve. Cameron showing off his long throwing ability. Hazarati. This is a unique game, to say the least. I'm yet to see a game 30 minutes in remain at the intensity that both teams started with. It's good to see. Good brand of attacking football from both sides, and it's producing here on the pitch as Franson heads it forward. Abdul Rahman finds Hazarati and stopped by McHugh Shaw. Cameron sends it forward. Lee's header goes a bit astray. Back. Try to find Abdul Rahman in the middle. A good stop in the end there from Leder. Pavlovic. Can't get past Leder. Needs to get rid of it though, Leder. Anderson back. Can he get to it? Hannigan. His clearance deflected away by Back again. And Franson launches out of the line to keep his side in this threatening attacking position. Franson. Knezovic is lurking. And Goldberg pushed to the ground. Knezovic had an open goal. Finds the back of the net and the foul was called. Goldberg did end up on the ground there. It was a challenge from Knezovic, but 50-50 going the way of the keeper there. And keeps the scoreline at 0-0 for the time being. As McGrath again under pressure from Hazarati, and Figueira slices his clearance. Leder just a little bolt forward to try and keep that one in, but it's going to be a throw for the Wanderers. Cameron again with the long throw. Franson, good header back in. Falls to Back. Abdul Rahman tries to get it back in. And that's a great challenge by Hannigan. And going the other way. Had his jersey pulled there by Satanic. And the referee playing the advantage. Hannigan and Leder not happy with that. Play back underway here. McGrath. Knezovic. Lee and Knezovic. Good one-touch football here. McHugh Shaw. Back across Knezovic. Little push there from Anderson Back. Wins or loses possession and a foul for his side. Shaw. Good ball in. Abdul Rahman headed it into a dangerous path and bounces around a bit. Eventually cleared away. But will fall right back to Cooper Hannigan. Gives himself a bit of space on the right. Goes to ground. Referee doesn't play advantage. Kinesi gets the ball in. Marcic able to get the header, but got under it a bit. Not the desired amount of power there, but another good set for the Raiders in attack. Cameron goes long and going to have to do well to keep this one in. Pavlovic just a step short. And Cameron's ball a little bit too audacious for the Wanderers in attack. As Hannigan probably taken a little bit of liberties there as where the throw-in was taken, but Marcic will be the beneficiary of that. And it's going to be a goal kick. Jesse Cameron shielded it away well. A heavy touch from Marcic. Hazarati, good header through, and McGrath almost got caught up in his own feet there, but did really well to recover. Hannigan from the outside of the field had to keep that one in. Gazowski battling with Hannigan, unloads it for Pavlovic. Haven't been able to keep our eyes off this one for more than a second. Action-filled first half at Ernie Smith Reserve. Now Franson, this is probably the most amount of time one player had at the ball throughout this first half. As Abdul Rahman puts the Jets on, trying to keep that one in away from James Letter, but it's going to be a goal kick for the hosts. Figueroa goes short. Kearshaw launches it forward. Morrison gets his head to it first, but Everett collects it up. Hannigan. Good ball in. Knezovic lays it to Everett, goes low, Kianese! There's the opener for the Raiders. A brilliant finish from a man in a rich vein of form. Raiders 1, Western Sydney 0. A sensational finish. And that is goal number 7 for the season for Noah Kianese. Hasn't he hit form at the absolute perfect time for the SD Raiders? And a hotly contested first half that really could have ended with either side ahead. And it looks like, well, still 10 minutes to go, but the Raiders are ahead, 1-0. Credit to Lachlan Everett there. Thought he was going for a low-driven shot, and I think the Wanderers' defence thought the same. But it was just a beautifully placed ball. Kianese on the back foot. Angled his body away from goal and picked out the bottom corner. So can the Wanderers respond before the break? McGrath, he pushed forward to stop the attack, and he's halting it for the time being, stopping Gazowski and forcing them to go back. To Kianese now, 5 goals in his last 4 games. Obviously had a hat-trick 3 weeks ago against the Wollongong Wolves in that memorable win. And then the leveller against Marconi here 2 weeks ago. And Franson had to head that one away, otherwise McGrath was through on goal. Hannigan leaves it to Matthew Lee filling in defensively. And Figueroa hasn't had much time to think about his clearances, as is the strong counter press from the Wanderers. Morrison heads it forward, and Everett sends it out wide, and Iramogo picks that one up. Marcic. Kianese thought about it, played it out wide. Hannigan. Kinesi again. Tries to lob it over to Hannigan, and Jesse Cameron doesn't take any chances and clears it away. James Letter launched that one across the McGrath with a bit of venom. Knezovic, great header forward. Iramugo flicks it back into his path, but Anderson back beats him to it. As Knezovic might have got a hand to it, won't matter in the end. That attack comes to an end prematurely for the Wanderers. Figueira, good ball to switch it up. And KNAC did well to almost dummy the header, play it through, but he was offside. If he wasn't, Hannigan again through. He's had lots of involvement so far, Cooper Hannigan. Getting through a mountain of work on the right side of the park here. Gazowski. Franson goes long. Trying to shift it up a little bit. And in the corner, Catrib. Beaten to it by Iramugo, who lets that one run out smartly for a goal kick. So Figueira sends everyone to the left and brilliantly picks out Cooper Hannigan. In acres of space close by, Marchic's touch lets him down there. Just a little bit too heavy for Michal Marcic. Franson, they just can't seem to get out of their own end at the moment, the Wanderers. McGrath, Kinesi. Great ball, even better dummy, Iramugo. Taking out Catrib in the process. And the Raiders must have been working on a few of these tricks throughout the week. Goldberg had two players in front of him and almost gave up a goal earlier to Knezovic. Got rid of it wisely there. McGrath, it's it to Hannigan. Hannigan tried to get it across to Knezovic, who was in a bit of space there. Might still work out for the Raiders though. Kinesi just knew Iramugo was making that run, didn't he? He tried to cut back in on the right. Still manages to get the cross in, and no one home for Robert Iramugo. Gazowski now. Good ball forward. Abdul Rahman first time tried to offload Hazarati, but sent it straight into James Letter. A disappointing end there to the Wanderers' attack. Marcic. And probably could have been a foul called either way, but play on. Morrison. Franson. Cameron. Gazowski, just one too many green shirts in front of him. Loses the ball. Now Kianesi. Lee. Everett. Hannigan. Central now. Switches it across. Knezovic. 4 numbers in the box if he can get an aerial cross in. Goes to the ground and referee calls a foul. And he's digging into the pocket here. Yellow card given. Looked like it was to Emil Katrib for stopping a good attacking play there. Just a couple minutes to go before half-time here. If the Raiders could bag another, it'd surely be more than there in terms of putting the pressure on the top 6 with 3 crucial points here. Interesting, McGrath is just lurking about 5 metres offside. Rejoins the line now. It's a good ball in. Goldberg again with a good fist away. Falls to Lee. Just a little bit too much venom on that. Pretty well clear of the target in the end from Matthew Lee. Sometimes when the ball falls to you in an area like that, edge the box and Knezovic thought about turning a couple of Wanderers defenders there, but does brilliantly to give it to McKeel Shaw. Good ball in, but Katrib deals with it. Kianese tries to get it back in, deflected away again. Won eventually by Gazowski. Back with Marcic and the Raiders. Marcic lays it off. Good effort in the end. Just dipped a little bit too late. And the Raiders not content with just a 1-goal lead. Eager to make it 2 before the break. As the 4th official waves the board for 1 minute of injury time. It's going to be a free kick for the Raiders in what could be will certainly be the last attacking stanza in this first half. Gonna have to get forward quickly. Bit of contention there with Hazarati if he was within the legal standing area. It won't matter in the end. And that'll be the final kick of the first half. It's Noah Kianese's strike that separates the two sides going into the break. SD Raiders 1, the Western Sydney Wanderers 0. Join us back here in about 15 minutes' time for the second half of action.
Every week, hundreds of thousands of people turn up around football grounds around New South Wales. Parents, kids, refs, coaches and volunteers. Cardiac incidents can happen to anyone at any time on the pitch.
Right now, not every club has a defibrillator.
And the ones that do are not always maintained or ready to use. In a critical moment, with a defib, that could save lives. That's why Football New South Wales, St John Ambulance and Toyota have come together for Every Beat Matters to help clubs around New South Wales to access defibrillators, cover maintenance and build a register so we know exactly where every unit is around the state. All you need to do is buy a ticket through raffle ticks. $5 can make a difference. Every ticket goes towards funding defibrillators and maintenance for clubs that need it most. A live fundraising board shows exactly how much is being raised. And every ticket you buy puts you in the draw to win a Toyota Corolla. One ticket, real impact. Help your club be ready when it matters. So buy your ticket today.
Good touch by Cameron to bring that down, and now thinks about the early cross. It might fall for Awan Lawal. And you simply cannot give him those sort of opportunities. Here is Thomas Quilligan. Connor Quilligan with a strike! And how great a strike it is! Franson looking for Lawal, does find him. And now Rocco McNamara is there, flashing it across goal. And Hasarati taps it in. A well-worked goal by the Wanderers as they make...
Side to strike. Diego Bonilla squares it back. Choi with a bending shot. And the goal arrives for the Sutherland Sharks. Bonilla on the right side. Diego Bonilla cuts onto his left. Veers out to open some room. And the ball falls in the box. Here's McGowan! Ty McGowan makes it 2. Into the last 10 minutes of play. Scott turns, holds off an opponent, and he's legged as the ball finds Kanazumi. Excellent finish.
With the left foot. It's Casella with the shot. And Casella with the goal! They lead at home for the first time. Well, not a second time McStay, but now Fernandez. Head tennis in there. Marcic flicks it. Is there a chance? Is there a goal? No flag. There is the equaliser. The free kick was floated in. It ricocheted around inside the box and eventually fell. Takes a touch and he slips. There's been a chip from Evan Souris. Chance for us to Raiders. A great save. Not cleared away. It's come back inside. Marcic with the goal. Marcic with the goal. Goalkeeper. He's picked it up and bowled it out. And now Skataric. Skataric aiming for the shot. Oh, it is a goal. It went through the net. It's 2-2. Everett calling for it back inside. Q Shore chooses to float it in. Marcic is there. Still haven't cleared it. Dinked up to the back post. And it's headed and it's in. They've got themselves a third goal. It's Jakob Malbasa.
Back in from Coco. And it's in the back of the net. Farah Coco with a spectacular effort. Haven't had much chances so far in the second half. Tiller, good ball in. Falls to Nakano. That is one of the best goals you will see this season.
Major continues his run and Tanaka has a go. Konai Tanaka with a real collector's item. He's going to find Fowler here. Tilt is going to ground but hasn't taken it away from Fowler. And it's Fowler bearing down on Rogers. And Sydney immediately responds right before the break against Cooper Rogers. Glasson, confident penalty. Down the middle he went. And Sydney FC take the lead for the first time this afternoon, and it's an important lead at that. An important moment this in the context of the season, in the context of the finals race. Major from the spot, tucks it away with ease, sends Zavadinos the wrong way and lets him know about it on his way past. Yej making it difficult, and Blacktown have won a quick throw. Major up to Qual, and Qual is searching for Malia, and Malia! Blacktown go bang bang, and it's on the feet of their two veterans, Travis Major and now Mitch Malia. Turn and continuous reliance on his more experienced players, and yes, he's going to have a go. Oh, incredible from Maxim Yej from past halfway.
Channel ball. Oh no, oof. He's turned it over very cheaply indeed. That's not who you want to give the ball away to. It's Moody Najjar who will strike and finish into that bottom corner with aplomb. It's ahead at the interval. Swept in, near post delivery. K-Flaps! They have restored parity!
Bernie. The pressure pays for St George. Solomon John Monahan Viker. Bid leg! Oh, what a finish that is! The Frenchman is catching fire in NPL New South Wales, and St George...
Not a regular goal scorer by any stretch of the imagination. Casper's keeping the attack alive. Conestavo! Stunner! Sequences like that are going to help out Apia, and Ortiz is bearing down on goal. He's found Conestavo for two. A brace of brilliance for Apia's number 8. Able to play the ball forward. Monarchus forcing the pass, but Kukuchka's stolen in behind Sean Simmons and has a goal back. There's the one they were looking for. It's come from there. There they are. Dilly applying the press. Oh, Conestavo! What more?
back underway here. Ernie Smith Reserve, SD Raiders 1-0 lead over the Western Sydney Wanderers. Noah Chianesi's strike in the 32nd minute, which separates the sides at the moment. But it was an absolutely frantic first half. There's a good early chance here. Hazarati tried to get it across the face of goal. Ewan Gazowski was open in acres of space, and a crucial stop by Cooper Hannigan, stopping a very, very early attacking chance for the Wanderers. Both sides playing very physical, very fast. The intensity has been, well, just continued to turn up levels throughout the first half. And it left us with a pretty entertaining opening 45. And these two sides have faced off in the past. Goals tend to follow them. Obviously, earlier in the season, the Raiders got away with a 2-1 win. A1 Luau, one of the goal scorers there, but it was a double from Marty Fernandez that sealed the 3 points for the Raiders. Now Hannigan. He was one of the Raiders' best in the first half. Good ball in. Another strong fist away from Goldberg, and the follow-up header from Marcic just off the target. So obviously missing A1 Luau, the Wanderers today. 20 goals this season. Leads the league in that category. He's followed by some pretty big names as well. Presley Ortiz, Damien Sekenis, Moody Najar, Travis Major. Considerably behind, so even with the game missed today for Luau, you'd think that that golden boot might just be wrapped up, although we've definitely seen stranger things happening in this competition. So as we mentioned earlier, the Wanderers playing in the Australia Cup tonight against Melbourne Victory, and their bench is just full of NPL stars. Atia Wagara, Jai Rose, Nathan Barry, A1 Luau. Of the current squad on that bench, 4 of the 6 spots, all in the NPL, which is good to see. And obviously, Tristan Vidakovic and Jared Carluccio, former members of this squad, as Aramugo through on goal. Robert Aramugo, strong save from Goldberg. Straight into the chest of the Wanderers keeper. Knezovic, one touch too many. It's almost worked out well, but it's a foul the other way. And Knezovic raises his arm in a bit of disappointment there. So not a lot of recent history between these two sides. Go back to 2022 when both these two sides were in League One, where Western Sydney won both fixtures that season. A 4-3 win to start off, and then a 3-0 win the last time these sides played here in 2022. And if you want to go back to 2021, Western Sydney dominated that fixture as well as a 3-1 win, but Noah Chianesi was also on the score sheet that day. So almost 5 years apart, and still fine in the back of the net against the Wanderers. Hasarati can't get to that first because Lachlan McGrath. Brave challenge, and it worked out brilliantly for him. So a bit of debate if it was a goal kick, throw in, or a corner. Looks like it's going to be a corner, and Anderson back will take it for the Wanderers. Back's delivery. Forced to Hazarati. Thought about it, but wisely. Back out. Pavlovic. Got a decent amount of boot behind it. Just didn't curve enough at the end. Goal kick for the Raiders. Under pressure immediately, the Wanderers. The Wanderers putting the Raiders under pressure, I should say. Not going to matter though. Iramugo tried to play Marcic through on goal. And as the outstretched foot there of Barry, or Franson, I should say, denying Marcic an open lane through to goal. So as things currently stand, Raiders would sit just 1 point outside the top 6 with a few results falling in their favour. Leder makes a bit of a meal of that. Hazarati breaks past 3 Raiders defenders. Good ball in the middle, but straight down the throat of Figuera. He's trying to send it long, and Abdul Rahman stopping him. Knezovic, good ball. Iramugo just probably wasn't expecting it, as Oscar Morrison tried to clear it away and could only get as far as Noah Kinesi as the throw now for Emil Katrib. An interesting run of form. Their last 5, the Wanderers, obviously last week, 2-1 win over UNSW. They won Luau and Hazarati, the goal scorers there, and a week before, a convincing 4-0 thumping of the Northwest Sydney Spirit. And it's just been a bit up and down to end the season for the Wanderers. 2 losses, followed by 2 wins recently, and staring down the barrel of a defeat as things stand at the moment. Knezovic cuts it into Marcic. His cross is deflected away, and Kianesi turning around and flicking it forward. Jesse Cameron wins it for the Wanderers. A free kick just shy of the halfway circle for the Wanderers. Taken quickly. Satenic. Nice 1-2 there. The ball in just a little bit too deep. Iramugo will happily see that one out. That's great play, and now Robert Iramugo. I thought about running forward. Stopped by Pavlovic, working hard in defence. McGrath. Dangerous clearance. Kicked out of the hands of Figuera by Hazarati. And almost a golden chance for the Wanderers there. As Morrison, no other choice there but to head that one out. Couldn't have headed it forward. There was just a flurry of green shirts in the middle that would have easily gobbled that up. Long goes McGrath. And it beats everyone straight through to Sam Goldberg. Franson, good ball out wide to pick out Abdul Rahman. Back in from Gazowski, but he fouled Matthew Lee in the process. Free kick here. Taken. Hannigan. Thought about it, but leaving it to the keeper, Michael Figuera, as Abdul Rahman just sends it back a couple of metres for good measure. But I'm sure Figuera will pop it straight back forward. Figuera launches it forward. Iramugo heads it to Knezovic. First cross is denied. Second one out for a corner. It's a good dink at it, Luka Knezovic, as the benches are cleared for the Raiders. Looking to loosen things up a bit here, possibly with an early substitution in the first half. Obviously, having to be mindful of the Australia Cup tie. Corner taken quickly. It's Macic and Knezovic linking up. Now Lachlan Everett goes for it. Knuckleball shot. Just didn't deviate the way he'd like. And again, a pretty easy save for Samuel Goldberg, who, in all fairness, has only really been caught into action in a tricky situation once, you'd say, so far. Every other opportunity's really just gone straight to him, and you could say the same for Michael Figueira. And obviously the one chance that they did get did go into the back of the net. Sensational finish from Noah Kienetsi. Makushaw had to call on Knezovic to dart forward and give him an option. It's going to be another throw. There's a bit of dialogue there between Oscar Morrison and our fourth official there, Morrison wanted him to act as a ball boy, and he quickly told him his role in this game is unfortunately not to be a ball boy and to officiate this game from the sideline. All in good spirit, though. It's back. Tremendous effort to keep that one there. Anderson back. He's had a good game so far. Dangerous challenge there by Satanic. Referee says play on. And through on goal now, Kozlowski. Figueira had to get to it first, and that is a really brave challenge from the keeper. And it's paid off really well, because now going the other way, Cooper Hannigan with a bit of intensity and a foul. And that is a good result, all things considered, how that possibly could have ended up for the home team. So it looks like the Raiders will bring on two attacking options, if I'm reading the fourth official's board correctly. Marty Fernandez and Yakov Malbasa will both come on, as will Sebastian Malfara. Free kick dealt with almost by Kozlowski. Still in a pretty promising area here as it goes out for a corner for the Raiders. So triple substitution lined up. Lachlan Everett, Noah Kienetsi will be two of the men making way. And Michal Macic looks to be the other man who will complete that triple substitution, as lots of contact here in the box. There's a lot of attention around Samuel Goldberg. As the cross is halted. It was pretty decent effort, in all fairness. Was probably going in. But the referee just issuing a little bit of a warning there to James Leder and a few of the Raiders. Really a little bit too much contact on Goldberg. Same ball as before, and it hits the bar directly from the corner. Back in, Lee's header. Macic just couldn't get enough on it. And luckily for Goldberg, the lack of power meant he could get down low to that. And the Raiders fall just short of getting a second. A dangerous back pass there from Katrib. Goldberg, one touch too many. That's a really good pass in the end, though. A good ball through. Abdul Rahman holds it up. Goes for it from distance. Figueira gets down low to it and sends it out for a corner. That was a really good run. Jesse Cameron has started forward and set up that chance for the Wanderers, and a corner here to be taken by back. Back goes direct. Figueira punches it away, and a free kick called. Again, a bit too much pressure on the keeper from the set piece chance. So a quick chance to go around the grounds. Marconi have got one back against Manly United as the Northwest Sydney Spirit lead. Blacktown City 2-0 at half-time, and the Sutherland Sharks and Sydney FC deadlocked at 0-0. It's both those games at the break. There's a strong physical challenge there from James Letter. Wins the ball back for his side, and he's darting forward, and he's in a really good area here if they can get it to him. Knezovic goes for the overlapping run of Marcic. Back to Knezovic, turns a couple, goes to ground. Ref says play on, ball through. Only man forward was Abdul Rahman, and he was pretty well off the last man there, Lachlan McGrath. But a good header forward from Hazarati as Abdul Rahman is called offside. Figueira clears it. And going to have a double substitution here for the Western Sydney Wanderers. So Marko Radovancevic and Corey De Cruz will be coming on, and Anderson back, one of the men who will be making way. Ewan Gazowski makes way as well. Marko Radovancevic will likely play in that left-sided 10 role, whereas it's a like-for-like substitution in the middle with back coming off for Corey De Cruz. As Cameron launches it forward, and Pavlovic was hauling some to get there. Wasn't meant to be, as Kianesi unloads the run there. Hannigan almost brought to ground, and that's going to be a free kick, and most certainly a yellow card for Ricky Franson. Probably did get away with one or two of those in the first half. Franson finds himself in the book alongside his right back, Emil Katrib, as the triple substitution for the Raiders should be coming up momentarily. So if you're the Raiders, you'd almost be hoping for another goal at Marconi Manly. So it would put them level with Manly United, who have leapfrogged into the top 6. A pretty sensational comeback. Knezovic to take this one. They scored from a similar position here against Marconi 2 weeks ago. Will history repeat itself? Good save by Goldberg. Again, getting down low to it at his front stick. It's just kind of missing that final link in attack, and obviously with someone of Alan Luau's quality missing, it's pretty clear to see his impact on this team, for the Wanderers that is, as the triple substitution will be made here. So Robert Eramugo not coming off, just getting some instructions from him, one of the coaches here. Noah Kianesi will be off. So, it must be said, as Sebastian Marfara ran onto the field, there was a strong whiff of deep heat in the air, and it is incredibly cold here tonight. So you can understand that, trying to get the muscles warm before he gets out there, because he gets himself in a mountain of work, and this might be the quickest yellow card I've ever seen. Within about 10 seconds of getting on the field, Marfara found himself in the referee's book with a yellow card. You have to look through the niche record books of this competition, but that's got to be top 5 at least quickest yellow cards I've ever seen. So a new look in the middle of the park for the Raiders, and some fresh legs looking to see out what would be their 5th consecutive win. Side in red-hot form. They flirted a lot with relegation at the start of the season and peaking at the perfect time. Imagine finals here in a couple weeks' time as a free kick for the Wanderers in a pretty promising position.
Turn around, face up early! Face up early!
Kick off in one of the last games of the evening. St. George Saints playing host to Apia Leichhardt in a game that means just as much for the top of the table as it does for the bottom. St. George need to recover the ground that they have now lost on Sydney Olympic. 2 points behind them in the race to avoid automatic relegation to Football New South Wales League One. As we've seen last night, the Blacktown Spartans confirmed their spot in this competition for next season. One's up, one's got to go down. It's going to be a thrilling race to the end, as is the race for finals here. And if the Wanderers can bag one, we're in for a thrilling final 20 minutes here. So De Cruz off the bench, and his first real involvement of the game is going to be a set piece from a really good area. Try to go short, pick up Pavlovic. And first to it is the substitute, Marty Fernandez. All the way from his own box to box for Fernandez. Hannigan switches it back to the left, and Knezovic now in a bit of space. Had the overlapping run of Malfar and goes for goal. Was on target, but Goldberg seeing it all the way through. Satanic, good ball forward. Hazarati, even better touch, and went for it. An audacious effort, and Matthew Lee was there, meeting him to it. Johnny Pavlovic going to take this corner here. Never went in from Pavlovic. Really disappointing end there for the Wanderers, who have shown lots of promise in attack in the last 10 minutes or so. Have to remain wary, though, of this Raiders side that can turn defense into attack in a blink of an eye and can really do the same when given an opportunity in front of goal. Long ball from Hannigan, picking out Knezovic in a bit of unfamiliar territory on the right. First time cross from Lee. Hit away by Franson, but back into the clutches of the Raiders' defence. McHugh Shaw. Iramugo launches it into the middle. It's a wayward pass. He's going to get away with it, and that is the teammate credit there. Lachlan McGrath, good defensive work. So the Western Sydney Wanderers' second most amount of goals scored in this competition so far. Currently without finding the back of the net. Got 52 goals in 27 games played. A pretty sensational record. Second most goals scored by any team in this competition for the Wanderers. SD currently in 7th place with 38 goals. Some 14 behind the Wanderers. A good ball in now for Pavlovic. Tries to get it across, but he's met by Leder. Ball forward for De Cruz. Wasn't meant to be. Still on now for the Wanderers with Katrib. It's a decent ball in. And Hannigan probably wanted to get rid of that first time, and a bit tricky with it with the first touch. Good ball across now, and an even better shot. Just misses the target. The net was bulging just on the wrong side there. It was Rado Vancevic. Good 1-2 there with the substitute. As he gets the plaudits of his bench there, Rado Vancevic. Abdul Rahman, very deep. He's almost played as a pseudo striker today as he goes in late on Malfara. Referee thought about playing the advantage, and he's going to go into the book here, Alad Abdul Rahman. So the third Wanderer to find himself in the book today. Ricky Franson and Emil Katrib also with yellow cards. So Sebastian Malfara, the predominant set-piece taker for the Raiders, coming off the bench and assuming set-piece duty here, just a couple of inches away from the halfway line. Good header away from Katrib. Hazarati launches it forward, it deflected off Lee and almost worked out well as Abdul Rahman is in a lot of trouble here. A second yellow within a matter of seconds, and the Wanderers are down to 10. 2 late challenges within 1 minute, and Abdul Rahman, his night ends early. No bad blood between the two sides. He's just in a bit of disbelief in himself, really. Really young mistake, and he's not happy with himself. He knew it straight away as well. Straight to the locker rooms for Alad Abdul Rahman. And one of the Wanderers' best this season. 5 goals, he's their second leading goal scorer, just a smidge. 15 behind Owen Luell. It's funny how football works. Just a couple of days ago, Alad Abdul Rahman was sharing the field with Chelsea in the friendly with the Western Sydney Wanderers. Now he's been red carded at Ernie Smith Reserve on a chilly Saturday night. It's the highs and lows of the academy footballers at this level. He's getting some final instructions here. Here's Oscar Moore, who will be coming on shortly for the Wanderers. As a decent ball in, was headed away by Jesse Cameron. And the turnaround cross. Again, pretty easy pickings for Samuel Goldberg. And Cameron tried to get the attack started immediately. And it could have backfired. Malbassa, his touch was a little bit skewed by a touch of contact in the back. Cameron has to play it back now to Franson. There's a double substitution being lined up here for the Raiders. That'll be all 5 used up for the home team. Malbassa had to send it back to Iramugo, who probably wasn't in the greatest position, as that back pass is just flirting dangerously with an open net there. Figueira pretty comfortable with it, although has had a pretty disastrous own goal go against him earlier this season. Or technically went against Luka Knezovic, who went for the back pass. Figueira was a bit more advanced than he thought, as that ball just ravelled into the back of the net in a draw that could prove costly for both sides, really, in the grand scheme of finals and relegation. So 3 substitutes being lined up here. So Johnny Pavlovic will come off for Oscar Moore. And the 2 substitutes, Riley Cox-Barlow and Charlie Ragg, will be coming on. Robert Iramugo will be coming off. And Ragg has been one of the Raiders' most consistent performers all season. So Lee in the middle of the park, put in a shift alongside Everett for the most part, but it's going to be a new-looking midfield duo of Malfara and Riley Cox-Barlow. It's another free kick here. That's a really good ball in. McGrath heads it back into a dangerous area. France it away to Malbassa, and his shot is deflected away for another corner for the Raiders. They've got to be careful here. I'd like to think a second goal here would probably seal the 3 points, and Wanderers side full of young and some now fresh legs in attack could really punish them if they're not lethal in front of goals. So Malfara's cross halted this time. Last time the ball was in midair when the referee stopped it. Malfara goes direct, and the header is just over. And it was the substitute, Riley Cox-Barlow, making immediate impact. He beat Goldberg to it, and he just rose a little bit too high, you'd say. Couldn't get the header down. And a really, really good chance for the Raiders. Goes begging again. De Cruz. Debate if that ball went out. It did look really close. Radovancevic. Now Katrib. Good ball across. No one home. Oscar Moore, the substitute, got the slightest of touches to it, but too many Raiders back. Now chance the other way. Malbassa. Knezovic. Luka Knezovic. Very, very nearly the second for the Raiders. And in a pretty similar fashion to how the first goal was scored by Kianese. Wanderers now the other way. Radovancevic. He's been a burst of energy since coming on. We'll see Wanderers down to 10. Now Abdul Rahman, a good spark and X factor for them in attack, missing. Svensson has to go short. Sitenic coughs up possession in what could be a real costly area. Good ball through, and Moore just can't get to it. James Letter first to it. And his clearance doesn't reach over the halfway line, and that's because it was deflected. Didn't see that from the further side touchline here. Rag. His first real involvement since coming on. Cox Barlow wanted to send Malbasa through, or Marty Fernandez it was, in a bit of space. And he knew he wasn't getting to it. And a throw now for Emil Katrib as the fourth official, not having any of that, sends the throw in back a good couple of metres. Fernandez. Great bit of skill. Breaking forward now, Marty Fernandez. Fernandez going to go himself. Fernandez! That would have been something special. From basically the halfway line, skinning any wanderer in his sight. And just couldn't get enough connection on it to get past Samuel Goldberg. He's made a handful of saves today, Goldberg, and put to the test. Rag back to Leder. There's a few calls to just launch it forward. They did have quite a few numbers up, the Raiders, but conservatively, happy to knock it around a bit as the 1-2 between Malfara and Cox Barlow is going to be interrupted by the skipper Oscar Morrison for the Wanderers. It's Goldberg forcing the hand of his left back Jesse Cameron there. That ball goes astray from Rado Vancevic. Sorry, Setenic it was. And now quickly the other way. Here's Rag. Plays it across. Fernandez. You can see how dangerous he is when he cuts in. Luckily for the Wanderers, Ricky Franson was there. Katrib. Now Franson. So they're going to have to push a few extra numbers forward with the one-man disadvantage, the Wanderers. De Cruz, bit of space. Almost gets past McCure Shaw, who is going to be carded for his troubles. So 6 yellow cards given out in this game from the 43rd minute onward. Which is a bit surprising considering most games like that do end up pretty physical and heated, and this one has looked far away from that. A lot of mutual respect between both sides here. So elsewhere, the Wanderers' rivals, Sydney FC, have taken a 1-0 lead over the Sutherland Sharks, which that shakes up a few things in the race for 4th place, the Australian Championship spot. As Manly United 3-1 now against the Marconi Stallions. Drama everywhere across the city tonight. De Cruz goes for the cross and he kept in the end there, and it's a good cross back in from Morrison. Figuera had to work back hard to make sure he got 2 hands onto it. And he unloads Riley Cox Barlow in attack. McGrath now all the way from the centre of defence against his opposite number, Ricky Franson. He sends it out for a throw. Malbasa launches it forward. Franson heads it past his keeper. It's an open goal for McGrath if he could get to it. Back across. And that's the 3-point sealed for the Raiders. Yakov Malbasa pounces on a defensive error. And credit to McGrath all the way from the centre of defence. and setting up Malbasa, who did brilliantly to get onto that and launch it into the roof of the net. And the Raiders are going to make it 5 wins in a row. He's made a habit of that, Yakov Malbasa. His 6th goal of the season. And 2-0 with 5 minutes to go is an incredible mountain for the Wanderers to climb if they are to get anything from this game. I'll be disappointed in it because they've been in it for long stretches and just missing final touch and a bit of composure. They're not giving up just yet, the Wanderers. McHugh Shaw, brilliant bit of trick to flick that one up to himself and give him a bit more leverage on the clearance there. Radovancevic, he got the final touch on it. It's going to be a Raiders throw. And Knezovic didn't take the touch. And luckily for him, Lachlan McGrath was there and he's bursting forward again. He wants to get involved in the attack once more. He's already got an assist. That's a brilliant run, and Franson stops that cross from going in. Knezovic, who was covering McGrath, darts onto that. Back out, Malfara. That's a great ball in, and Malbasa got a flick on it and just couldn't get it towards target. A goal kick for the Wanderers. Another risky bats pass there, almost backfiring for the Wanderers. Got to be careful on both ends here. McGrath, I don't know how he's got any energy to even walk at the moment. It's a credit to his fitness and the amount of gas he's got left in the tank. Hannigan fits into that same mould, just up and down that right flank all game. Katrib now, very advanced. Seeks out options and has to go back to Morrison. Now with Franson. Radovancevic. De Cruz. Decent ball in. And the outstretched leg of McGrath denies the Wanderers of a good chance there. Malbasa. Kearshaw, no choice there, but just to launch it forward. Calls for a handball there. Morrison, play on. And Riley Cox-Barlow tried to clear it. And the eagerness of Radovancevic comes back to bite him, as that'll go out for a goal kick, which will be taken in, you'd say, no rush from Michael Figueroa, who makes me eat my words there, to be fair. Knezovic forces Hannigan to work hard to control that one. 4 minutes of added time will be put up on the fourth officials board. So still a decent amount of time for the Wanderers if they can get one back here. Here's Oscar Moore. Just swamped by Raiders. There's the 1-2 there. Didn't work out. Malbasa. He's got 3 options darting forward. Goes out left to Riley Cox-Barlow. And Katrib and Cox-Barlow. Bit of wrestling there on the ground. Katrib wins the foul for his side. And I was just about to say, he's on a yellow card. He's got to be careful, but the referee rules it the other way. Could have gone either way, to be fair. just a pretty fair physical challenge there. And Riley Cox-Barlow was deemed to be the fouler in that situation. Now Rag. Can they make it 3 here? Malbassa again! 2 off the bench for Yakov Malbassa, and it is 3-0 for the Raiders. Right place at the right time on 2 separate occasions for Yakov Malbassa, and he brings his total to 7 for the season. It's a pretty good finish in the end. And great bit of work there on the right side from Charlie Ragg. Darted forward, got the ball across, and Malbassa again. Sometimes those ones can be the hardest to finish, and he's got a double. So now a 3-way tie in the leading goal scorer category for the Raiders. Fernandez, Kinesi, and Malbassa all on 7 for the season. Two great substitutions linking up there. Corey De Cruz, can they get one back? They haven't kept a clean sheet in 9 matches, the Raiders. The last one was in round 19 against Rockdale Linden. As a sensational challenge there. Sitanic. A round of applause there. Worked hard and just lunged out to try and stop it. It didn't work out in the end, but it was the right idea for sure. Charlie Ragg again. Knezovic. Little shimmy. Gets it forward. Fernandez! He was offside. But he'll be disappointed he couldn't get that one on target. So looking forward for the Raiders, what is now going to be a huge clash next week against Apia Leichhardt. They are on the road to Christie Park to face Spirit after that, and they finish their season at Seymour Shaw against the Sutherland Sharks. And obviously that cup game against the Bulls on Tuesday is their final 4 fixtures of the season. One more chance here. Rag again looking for another assist. He had Malfara running through on the back post. Not meant to be, but they could get a 4th here with a corner in the dying embers of injury time. So for the Wanderers, they will go play St. George FC in their final home game of the season. And then they are off to Wollongong to play the Wolves before a final round clash against Blacktown City. And obviously their senior side playing the Australia Cup tonight as well could potentially meet. As that corner doesn't go to plan for Sebastian Malfar and the Raiders. Franson hands it forward to De Cruz, and there's a few options forward, but again Lachlan McGrath's there. Putting his name forward for a Man of the Match nomination. As De Cruz tackles McGrath without the box, and it's going to be another yellow card for the Wanderers. So 5 yellow cards for the Wanderers alone in this one. 8 in total, 3 for the Raiders, 5 for the Wanderers in this one. So a bit of chat in the middle there between Corey De Cruz and the Raiders, and they will get bragging rights in the end. It is 3-0 to the home team. SD Raiders keeping the Western Sydney Wanderers goalless. And what a game of football that was. Contested hotly all the way to the end. It was Noah Kinesi's goal in the first half that sent the Raiders into the break up a goal. And a brace off the bench for Yakov Malbassa, rounding out the scoring. So full-time here from Ernie Smith Reserve. SD Raiders 3, the Western Sydney Wanderers 0. So there's lots more action going on around the state. So feel free to spend your Saturday night with Football New South Wales. Thank you again. I've been Dominic Cronidi. We'll see you again soon.